This is an AllPowers portable power station. Wow, that is a mouthful. And it's obviously a battery that you can take with you wherever you want, and it can be used in tons of different situations. Now, while this isn't technically home lab related, the channel will definitely benefit from this, and so I accepted the product because it'll provide some utility to me when I film outdoors, which I have done in the past, or just using it every day while I am filming in the lab, because this can act as a UPS. So I traditionally use these Cyber Power UPSs like I am right now with this camera while filming, and for the lights. So that way, if the power goes out, and it does quite often, I don't lose anything at all. Even though the camera can operate on a battery, I always have it plugged into the UPS because the UPS can provide so much more power. These are 1,000-watt UPSs, so I can get, hours and hours and hours and hours of life out of them for this tiny little camera and the lights. However, this is also interesting on its own because it is now portable. So, trying to lug one of these things around with me when I'm filming off-site and having these cables hang out everywhere, I don't have to worry about any of that now. As previously mentioned, this battery is portable and weighs about 12.3 pounds, so very easy to lift up and move around. And unlike the Cyber Power UPSs, it's probably around 30 pounds with its lead acid battery versus the lithium ion battery that's in here. The specific batteries that are in here are lithium iron phosphate, and these batteries give a total capacity of 299 watt hours, which for me should be plenty of juice when filming outdoors, because typically I'm not outside very long, and when I'm inside, it's going to be plugged into the wall anyway and acting as a UPS. So I should always have plenty of power for my short shoots and short little shots that I do from time to time. Now, while it does have a 299 watt hour capacity, it can supply up to 600 watts of power peak. And you can actually go over this very briefly, but you should keep in mind that you should really only use this for devices that don't require more than 600 watts of power, especially when you first turn them on. The ports that can supply specifically 600 watts are the AC ports that can be found on the front of the device. These are 100 to 120 volt AC ports that you would find pretty much anywhere. You can also get up to 200 watts through the USB-C ports, which for me is a huge upgrade over the USB ports that are found on the Cyber Power UPSs. The USB-A ports can supply up to 36 watts of power, which for me is way more than enough. That's 100 watts per port on the USB side, totaling to 200 watts of output, and then 36 watts on the USB side, or 18 watts per port. And just to be perfectly clear here, you can actually see the ports are labeled 100 watts. That means each one of these USB-C ports can supply up to 100 watts, or a total of 200 watts. And then each of the USB ports can also supply 18 watts each, or a total output of 36 watts if you're to use both at the same time. The cigarette port at the front is a 12 volt, 10 amp port that can supply up to 120 watts of power. And at the top, we have a 15 watt charging pad that can be used for your mobile devices. So for me, that's going to make this unit pretty flexible for anything that I might need to throw at it. I'll have plenty of ports and options to power devices. Now, I'm used to having a lot of AC ports on the Cyber Power UPSs. Specifically, there is 5 that are battery plus surge, and that'll be downgrading to 2, which will take a slight adjustment for me, but generally speaking, I only ever have 2 devices plugged in anyway, maybe 3 or 4 depending on kind of the setup that I'm going for. In this particular case right now, all of the lights plus the camera are using 4 ports on the Cyber Power UPS that you're using, so I will have to figure out how to readjust that when I switch over to this device in the long run. As I previously mentioned, I'll be using this primarily as a UPS and not a portable power station. Now, this is supposedly pure sine wave capable, which means we'll have those really nice curves in our power supply versus a modified or stepped sine wave, which means that there will be no power gaps, and that could be critical for any electronics that are sensitive to electricity or require very good input. And this generally helps improve efficiency and a whole bunch of other stuff I don't really understand, so I'm not going to even pretend to talk at you about it. So the unit does come with a AC power cord, and you can simply just plug it into the side here, which makes it convenient for using as a UPS since it's like off to the side and out of the way. And then if for whatever reason, if I needed to recharge this unit, if I was filming outdoors, you can actually plug in solar panels to it, which AllPowers also sells separately from this unit, and it also comes available in a kit. Now that's not something I'm particularly interested in because again, I will basically always be plugged into the wall. In terms of serviceability, changing out the batteries in this is not going to be a simple task. You will need an entire kit to disassemble this thing, and even then, I don't even know if I am capable of replacing the batteries. So let's kind of check out how the process might go, because there are a ton of screws to remove. Now, I don't know which screws are best to remove first, but there are hidden screws inside of here, and I'm just using some tweezers to grab these rubber grommets or seals. I don't really know what to call them. They can be a little difficult to grab sometimes, but if you try hard enough, you can definitely grab them. The one thing you risk is, of course, shoving them too far back and not being able to grab them with your tweezers if you push them too far inside. This is a pretty deep hole. Like as you can see here, you'll need a long screwdriver that's skinny enough to reach the screws that are keeping this piece and this piece attached together. So, like I said, I'm just going to start by removing these, and then we'll go around and start removing the screws. The one thing that we need to be thankful for here is that inside of this hole here, you can just use a regular Phillips head, while all the other screws that are around this device are all some sort of Torx, or some different size of Torx. So they're very easy to remove on the inside. And like I mentioned, I don't know if you should start here. I don't know the right way to take this thing apart. This is really my first time, so we're just kind of winging it at this point. I just realized I actually said Torx. I meant to say hex. So on the top here, we have 4 screws that need to be removed. And these are hex 2.5 in case anyone's wondering. They come out pretty easily and are magnetic, so you don't have to worry too much about losing them anywhere. So we'll just quickly remove all 4 of these, and we will be on our merry way. Wow, everything is falling apart on me. Once all 4 of those screws are removed, removing the top is quite simple. You just pull up on it, and we're just going to unplug the top here from this PCB, which provides power to the wireless charging pad that is also on the top. So that's completely removed. Oh, there are actually more Phillips screws on the inside. Oh, man, okay. Well, let's just keep removing screws until we're done. Are these 2 plates that hold both sides together as well. So we will actually need to remove screws on one side. I guess you don't need to remove both or all of the screws and remove the plates. I'm just going to remove the plate or the screws from this side so the plate's loose in here and not actually tighten down. So let's try to do that somewhat quickly. But then, well, I'm just using a Phillips screwdriver here. So boom. Oh, those are magnetic, but it didn't stick. There we go. Okay, well, the magnet on this is not very strong, so anyway, let's just fast forward to the part where I'm done. With all 4 of those, wow, it has a very strong electronic smell to it. That's pretty nice. This thing is not new, by the way. It's been running for like over a month now, so it's lost its electronic smell, but there is a fan in here that pushes a lot of smell out, but I can't smell it anymore. But with the top removed, I can definitely smell it. Anyway, so we got all those 4 screws removed, and we are basically ready to remove the back piece from the front piece, but we still need to remove screws from the left and right sides. Oh, there's something loose in here. Oh yeah, I dropped a screw on the inside. Awesome. Now on the sides here, I am actually using a Torx 8 to unscrew these. I don't know if that's necessary or not. A hex may work, but the Torx 8 is the only one I have that fits and seems to do a pretty good job of actually removing these screws. So that's what I'm doing here. Now we're going to do the same thing on both sides. So we'll just skip ahead to the part where this is done. Now on this side, everything is still connected here, so definitely be wary of that. It looks like you can simply just unplug them, which is kind of nice to see. You don't have to unscrew anything. But I'm just going to leave it as is because I am lazy. Now, again, this is my first time taking this unit apart, so I'm not 100% sure how it should go, but it definitely seems to be coming loose already, and everything's just kind of popping out. Okay, so that's interesting. So I did pull up on those metal brackets. It seems like the screws are actually embedded in the plastic on the rear, and that kind of allowed me to just pull everything apart with ease. Now, these cables are a little tight, so I'm not actually able to pull it apart completely. I'll probably have to unplug a bunch of stuff, so Okay, so I did end up completely removing these just for ease, I suppose, and also because it would be hard to show you what I'm doing. So there are little clips here to unplug all the cables. So I'm just trying to unplug these, at least all the ones that are kind of keeping me from pulling it far apart. Let's see, we can remove this one. There we go. Let's remove this. And again, I apologize, this is probably going to be difficult to show on camera, but I am doing my best. Okay, there we go. That's removed far enough, I suppose. So, oh, what a mess. Okay, so here is the front face here, and I removed all of these and this. This is a ground which can be very easily disconnected, as both ends are soldered or screwed down on the inside. So it's kind of cool that there's like a quick detach spot. Makes it really easy to disassemble and reassemble. And the same can be said here as well. So this actually goes to one of the this outlet right here, and I believe this one's for the solar. So that goes to the solar. It's quick detach, super simple, super easy. Love to see it. And now here's all our capacitors. These things are absolutely massive. So here we go. Just look at those on the inside. They're huge. I really do want to rip this thing apart completely, but I also don't want to reassemble it or break anything. Now this is the fan. The fan, as you can see, plugs into the front PCB right here. It's not like the same plug that you would find in a PC, but it is 4-pin, so it could be easy to maybe take a different fan, like a Noctua fan or something, and change it out for this. This fan, I find, is not that it's loud, but it is always running when you have it in UPS mode, so that could probably off-put a lot of people. I'd say it's probably around 30 decibels. Just sitting in the room, but when the room is especially quiet, it is a lot to put up with. All right, down here are the batteries, and you can see we have all the different cells. I really don't know how to remove this. They're taped in there. It looks like they may be even screwed down. So could you take this apart and replace the cells on your own? Sure. Because it looks like this is one whole like battery brick, I guess, if you will. Like, you know, it's like got its own little chassis, I guess. I'm not really sure how to describe it or the right words. But it definitely looks like you could pull this out and put your own batteries, or replace the batteries in there, put your own batteries in there. All right, I guess I should probably get this reassembled so I can just do the final part of this video. I kind of forgot how everything went, so I'm going to have to watch this back. Wish me luck. So we have a light bulb and the camera plugged into the battery, and it is operating in UPS mode. To do this, you just simply plug in power and it automatically goes in UPS mode. There's no special thing you need to do with any of the settings to make that happen. So if I unplug this or rip the power cable out, the camera could turn off. It won't, and you will see the light flash showing you that there is a very, very briefest cutovers when you remove power. And plugging it back in, also you'll see that cut over. Okay, oh, there it goes. And the camera obviously didn't give out at all, or else this recording would be entirely messed up. So, you know, it only takes fractions of a millisecond for it to cut power over from the wall to the battery, which is obviously a very important thing when you are using it in UPS mode or using a UPS. The CyberPower UPS is obviously superior to this unit in the sense that if it were to lose power, there's virtually no cutover, or at least I don't ever really notice the lights turning off. If they do turn off, it's so imperceptible to me that I don't even notice half the time. More often than not, I just hear it click over. You can hear this unit click over as well. But another thing I don't like about this unit is when you are plugged in and in UPS mode, the fan is constantly spinning. Now, it isn't loud, as like right now, you can't hear it. I'm pretty sure you can't hear it anyway. Even with me leaning the microphone into where the fan is, you can't hear it. I can see that the microphone's not even picking it up. So it is extremely quiet, but if you're in a very, very quiet room using this as a UPS, you probably aren't going to enjoy the fan noise. Now for me, if I put my headphones on, I don't hear it at all. Or maybe I do, maybe I don't, I don't know. I'm so used to hearing servers running all of the time at work, or just fans running in general, that most of the time I've over the years, last 10 years, I've just learned to tune that stuff out, so it doesn't really bother me. But I can see for a lot of people how that would. Anyway, so the fan does run on this all the time when plugged in, and that could be frustrating for some people. And then I think it only operates when there is no... Nope, the fan did turn off even though we're on battery power. Now it will kick on if it gets too hot, so that's something to keep in mind there. Otherwise, I don't think I have any other major complaints with this unit. Like I said, I've had it for... It flashed that time, see? I've had it for over a month now. I've been using it on my camera constantly, and just, you know, other devices around the house, whether that be light bulbs or charging my phone or iPad, even running my Mac Mini off of it, and it's been fine. I have no complaints other than the fan at this time. So I guess I'll just continue to keep using it, and we'll see how it goes as the months drag on, and if anything bad happens, I'll be sure to report it. So with all that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Peace.